Hi y'all, I'm Chase. This is my 2013 Dyna Fat Bob with a 103, affectionately known as Mary Jane. And I'm out here on my way out again on my, let's call it treacherous again, gravel road. Going out to do some looking around, maybe for something for my mom's birthday. Today I think the topic's going to be, well, what I'd like to see from Harley-Davidson. I know that they're going to be coming out with something that's, oh, I don't know, more cruiserish than the Pan America. They're going to use the same motor that's in the Pan America, though. And that's fine and dandy. But what about guys like me who were really, really excited for, say, the Bronx? Honestly, that's why I ended up getting my Dyna, my Fat Bob. That Bronx was really the bike I was really looking forward to. That I honestly, when they decided that they weren't gonna do that bike, that's when I said, screw it, I'll get a Dyna then. Because with the Fat Bob, I could, let's just say I could make it more, it's, out of all the bikes they've made, this one's kind of more, I don't know, naked bike-ish. The rake's a little bit better, it handles better, more sit up straight, the bars were more straight up. Now granted, I had to put some LA Customs risers on there. These are the 1 and 1.75 risers. If you have the extreme thick Fat Bob style risers that are original, the 1 3/4 are the ones you want, not the 1 1/2. The 1 1/2s won't fit. Now I got lucky. I didn't try the 1 1/2s because, well, I went with how thick the bottom was on this and did a little guesstimating and got lucky, and they fit perfect. So if you have a Fat Bob, you need the 1 3/4 LA choppers, extensions, riser extensions. I mean, on my bike, my year, there isn't a lot of extra cable for the throttle or the brakes, so you have to, 1 inch is about as far as you can go, I think, because it's pretty stretched down there. So it's as far as I think you'd want to go safely without snapping a line. But anyways, back to Harley-Davidson. Dear Harley-Davidson, we want the Bronx. As much as I think that 1250 Custom will be cool, the Bronx was just the bike I really wanted. And that's what this video is going to be about. I think it's just going to be about what would you like to see from Harley-Davidson. Now, I've had other bikes. I've had, you know, an Aprilia. I've had a Kawasaki Ninja 600. So it's not like I've only ever had Harleys. I really like the Aprilia. It was a naked. It was a 750. I like that bike a lot. Probably the most best handling bike I ever had. It beat out, I don't know, maybe it was because of the way the bars were. It was a naked, so, but I like that one the most for handling. This isn't bad, honestly. This is probably third, but it beats both my Sportsters. But for as far as Harley, I really wish they would have kept the Bronx. Maybe they'll still have it, I don't know. But that bike I was really excited about, and when they canceled it, I decided to get the Dyna Fat Bob. I went looking for those. That was my second choice. So but there's other bikes I'd like to see them make. Honestly, I'd like to see them up that 1250 up to maybe a 1500 or a 1600 and throw it in a larger frame, even like the old Dyna frame. Ooh, that would be something. These old twin cams, these 103s, boy, they got plenty of torque. I was in 4th gear doing about 20 something, and man, it just picked right up without a problem. But yeah, a Dyna frame with that motor, honestly, I would seriously, if I could just buy the motor and transmission and swap it into a Dyna frame, oh man, that would be something. Open up the exhaust, the intake, actually get that 150, 160 horsepower and probably over 100 foot-pounds of torque. That would be a monster Dyna. But I'd even like to see it in a touring. Oh man, could you imagine like a 1700 cc Revolution motor in something like that Electra Glide? Or the Road King Street or the Road Glide. Oh man, that would be something. I'd love to see that. One of those motors in that. Oh, that would be something. Little Honda S2000. I like those little cars. But when they took that Bronx away, that kind of, I mean, it was a downer. That was one bike that everybody was excited for, and I'm not talking about just Harley guys. There's a lot of non-Harley guys were excited for it. Now, granted, everybody that's test rode the Pan America, everybody seemed to like that bike quite a lot. And the fact that they could go bigger, I guess he decided to speed up a little bit. But the fact that everybody's like that bike that seems to have test rode it, they seem to really enjoy it. They think it's the best bike Harley's ever made. But yeah, if they would have came out with the Bronx, that would have been the bike I would be getting. I would have waited. I would have kept my Sportster. But as soon as they said, oh, we're not going to make that, I said screw it, and I went out and got the Dyna Fat Bob. That was my second choice. I did not get the Softail Fat Bob. There was more than a few reasons. Parts availability, ease of maintenance. Replacing a battery in a Softail sucks balls. This, it's literally a bolt on the cover. Pull the cover off and the two bolts holding the cables on the battery. That's it. On that, well, it's not so much. It's a pain in the ass. So, plus you need 4 spark plugs in that, where I need 2 in this, and I think you got to take the tank off to get to the other 2 spark plugs. That sucks. And parts availability for stuff on that it still isn't as good as there is, like, say, for a Dyna. But I was willing to take that pain in the ass of parts availability for that Bronx. I would have done that. That bike, especially if they would have made it in a 1250, oh man, I would have taken the 975, because they were still talking about 100 horse or 110 horse, and I think it was 70 or 80 foot-pounds of torque. That still would be a smoking fast bike, because if the Pan America weighs in at 524 soaking wet, the other bike, without everything on it, all the extras that the Pan America has, probably would have came in at somewhere between 450 and 480. without the fairings and all that stuff. So it would have been quite a proper little bike. And even a sport bike with, you know, a little bit of a fairing on it from them would be pretty sweet. I wouldn't shy away from it. It's a pretty sweet little bike. It would be an awesome little bike with, you know, either motor. And seeing what they've been doing in the, you know, Battle of the Baggers and stuff like that, that would be a pretty sweet thing to have the liquid cooled motor in it. Especially, like I said, if you can go 15, 16, 17, even 1800 cc. An 1800 cc Revolution motor, I'm guessing that would be somewhere around 200 horse and probably 120 or 140 foot-pounds of torque. That would be a monster. That would be something. But, dear Harley, it's what people want. You've entered a new age with that motor. Honestly, if they would have made better bikes besides that, it's not a bad bike. But the other bikes that they had, oh man, I can't remember what the name of those are now. That's how little anyone cared about it. I liked them. Oh, the V-Rod. See, I can't even remember what the name of the bike is, and I like those bikes, but you put a liquid cooled motor in something and you made it not a bike that everybody would want. The people that want a liquid cooled motor, that wasn't the bike they wanted. I think Harley's recognized that fault, that mistake, and I think they're trying to rectify it now. I don't think it's too late for them, because the hype coming off the Pan America is it's at an all-time high. People want that bike. It's desirable. I watched a video the other day, I think it was from Visor Down, and a lot of bikes that were, you know, they did a top 10 or top 11 adventure bikes, and they had the Harley come in around middle of the pack, 5 or 6, and it was beating out some bikes that are well-known, very good performers. They were very impressed with it. And the price on it isn't bad either. If they make that 1250C custom or whatever it is, they make that come in at a $11,000 to $12,000 price. That's a cruiser to beat. But I think if you're going to do it as a replacement for the Sportster, you're going to have to keep it down even lower. Probably, you know, 10 to 11 grand is probably about as high as you can charge on it. Because if it's coming at the same price as a Softail, what the hell's the point? Why do you even have the Softail? And it also looks like a Softail styled model. So what's the point of the Softail at all at that point, especially if it's lighter and has more horsepower? You're pretty much going to have to kill off another set of bikes. So what was the point in even redesigning the Softail at that point? So you would have to come in cheaper. So you're talking 9 to 11 grand. Maybe the 975 version comes in at, you know, 9,000 or so, or 9,500, and the 1250 custom comes in at, you know, 10.5 or 11. Because any higher than that, you're literally competing with the Softails. I think the cheapest Softail right now is 11.5, so you have to keep it under that price. If you don't, you will destroy that line. You will make that line obsolete. Because who's going to buy a Softail when they can buy 150 horsepower, 90 foot-pound of torque bike and do everything to it that they could do to a Softail? That bike's pointless. But if it's a smaller bike and slightly cheaper, then yeah, okay, well then the Softail line has a point. Plus you can keep the price of the components down on that bike, and that'll make it so it stays, you know, at the lower price than the Softail. But yeah, in the comments, what would you like to see from Harley? What would be the bike, like your ultimate bike, if you were going to buy a Harley? What would you get? What would be the thing that would make you go, oh yeah, that's the one I have to get. I have to have that bike. That is my dream bike. What would it be? I think I'm going to end it here. Like, comment, subscribe, flick that ding-a-ling if you want to be notified of any new videos I'm putting out. Bye, y'all.